Hey guys, Zect here and welcome to my new video. This is the video for my first impression from Sage Awakening, and before we start I had a giveaway running. I will solve it this weekend, sorry for the bit of delay, but I will solve it on Saturday or Sunday. We have to see, probably on Sunday, but just for you to know. So, Sage Awakening, I had a look on the kit already, and we will go over all skills now. I will explain them, and then I will give you my opinion on this class. So we start with the Awakening buff, nothing too crazy, all AP 30, accuracy rate 50, or ignore resistance 30. Decent, nothing more to say about. Lightning Surge. Movement skill, fast movement skill, usable on cooldown, 5-second cooldown, stiffness, air attack, down smash, decent damage, 50% crit rate, 7% accuracy rate. I will show this a bit later how to use it. You can use it, probably you can just press A after all skills and you will use it. I think you get it, like, we have a lot of skills actually like that for other classes. Bolt is your iframe, or like, let's say, I say iframe SA or iframe SA, depending on when you use it and how you use it. That's actually a state called overcharged. It will activate after you use it. After a skill, it's overcharged, so your iframe time is longer. Because the iframe time, I'll quickly show that, on the skill itself is really short. You see, the iframe time is really short. You barely dodge damage with that. If you use it now, after a skill, the iframe time is longer, from what you can see here. It's a bit longer. It's still a really short iframe. On a 2-second cooldown, you can definitely use it a lot, but it's not that you can spam it. So, next we have the auto attack. Nothing crazy. Maybe casting speed 5%, 10 seconds. Maybe self buff, decent. Nothing more to say about that. Next skill, we have a grab. He has two grabs, like two grabs and one grab kind. If you like, he has a melee grab if you go close, looks like that, and he has a range grab. The melee grab will apply a bounce CC, and the range grab will apply a float CC. It's also really good range grab. It's like, the range is actually huge. It's like that. You can see the animation is long though, so it's definitely usable in a 1v1. But group fights, have to see. You can also use it after your 2-second iframe, instantly. So it will be really cool for 1v1s. However, keep in mind, it's unsafe. You can definitely get punished for it. I will quickly show the fail animation. So like you see, you have a fail animation. You can get CC'd in it. You have to be careful. You have to aim the grab. So it's good, don't get me wrong, especially against classes that linger a lot of SAs. And especially a grab, especially ranged one, is always good. So, range grab, really good, but if you think now, oh my god, that's too OP, I definitely can tell you, for this class, he needs it. He definitely needs it, and I will explain later why. Spear bolts, movement skill, really cool movement skill in my opinion. Forward B, wait a second, we quickly go over the stats. Decent damage, accuracy rate 4%, 100% crit rate, 10 targets, all AP buff, 10 seconds, 16. Stiffness on good hits, PvP and PvE knockdown, PvE only. It looks like that. Oh, let me actually show this on this one. It will automatically turn your camera, and it has a flow. So if you're continuously just pressing the button inputs, it will just do the skill all over again, what is really cool in my opinion. So you can just dash through the enemies and stuff. However, this skill is unsafe. So use it be careful using it. Maybe we get a core skill for that one. I could maybe see a core skill for that skill, but we have to see. The flow is the same that I told earlier. If you just hold it, he will do the skill all over again. Also, your arc cannon effect. This is your little satellite or arc cannon. I like to call it satellite because it looks a bit like a It's a summon, so accuracy rate 50%, good damage probably. That's really cool. It will deal extra damage. And yeah, movement skill, unsafe though. I would love to see a core skill for it. Next skill we have Riftsome, one of his SAs. Decent damage, 50% crit rate, 8% accuracy rate. Super armor, bound, PvE only, down attack, down smash. Long animation skill. Oh, that was the 100% by the way. That was not the normal skill, that was the 100%. I already heard that the 100% damage is not really high. Also, it's long animation. This is the same problem with that skill. I already saw the damage in RBF and from someone on PC, and it's okay. But it's not like people run into that and they die. So using that skill in a group fight with multiple enemies around you, you will probably die before anyone else will die. Of course, I don't say it's not good or something like that. It also depends on gear, and you know what I mean. But it's not like it's a long animation SA skill. It's dangerous to use. Even if it's SA, you can grab out of it. You can get blown up while you're using it. Next skill we have Lightning Bolt. Also, this is also one of the cooler skills in my opinion. Decent damage, a lot of hits actually, 4% accuracy rate, DP shred 20 for 10 seconds, knockback, PV only, float on good last hit, air attack, and it has an arc cannon effect. That is what it looks like. That was the wrong skill, sorry. This is what it looks like. It has a wind-up, and I can actually zoom out a bit. It will summon your satellite, and the satellite will float the enemy. Like that. You are unsafe though, so need to be careful. It probably can be a cool skill in some situations, but you need to be careful. It's unsafe completely. Damage will be probably super high, but I like this skill. It's really cool. Next skill we have the Divine Executioner. This is a signature skill where he pulls off in the air and you can do multiple things. I will just show this with Flow Judgment directly. Like when you press RB before the first hit, you go behind the enemy. When you go press RB after the first hit, it will do multiple additional hits. LB going behind the enemy to activate it again. So you have multiple stuff you actually can do with that. Like that. I mean the cooldown is really long, so I will not showcase them all. You can definitely use that skill strategically in many situations, especially because also you get an iframe. I think the cooldown is okay for a skill like that. Here you go like further away with when you press LB, and yeah, you got it. It's a cool skill, those two, but yeah, we have also to see how the damage is. 100% crit is good, this 7% accuracy rate is okay-ish. Iframe while you're in airborne and invincible, and SA on attack on general when you use this skill, and the down attack modifier. The next skill we have Upsurge. Upsurge is actually also a cool skill. It's a frontal guard, good damage, a lot of hits actually. 6% accuracy rate, 50% crit rate. Knockdown resistance -30 for 10 seconds on hits. This is actually really cool because this is good against Adamantium players. This is good against anyone basically. That makes your knockdowns reliable, and reliable knockdown is a really crazy good thing because reliable CCs, especially knockdowns, are the most dangerous CCs in the game because they last the longest, and that's really good, especially in a meta where most people pick Adamantians. On console not so much, but on PC it's actually a thing, and in console more and more players will pick up this at the moment again. Also, so yeah, it also has two instances kinda. This is the first one. You do this like sideways, and when you hold RB while you're pressing it, it will do the skill like in front of you. I quickly show that. Oh, that was actually not intended. Like, wait a second. Doing frontal attack, so you should use that just... Oh yeah, you can see just did this in front of me instead of sideways, so you can actually yeah, use it a bit more like sideways or in front of you. Also, the problem I see with this skill, long animation again. It's frontal guarded. Maybe there are a few cancels after skills to activate frontal. Let's actually have a look. Let's use this after, let's say, the iframe. Okay, not working after the iframe. Let's test this after the... Sorry, I just want to see if this is... Okay, you can see that he did this way faster now. So there are ways to cancel it. I already heard he has actually a lot of cancels. I can't show you all the cancels right now because I don't know how to place the class yet, obviously. This is really cool skill, probably high damage skill, but we have to see. But frontal guards, have to see how it works. Lightning Prison, another long animation, really long animation. SA skill. 100% crit rate, 10% accuracy rate, decent amount of hits, HP recovery for every good hit was really good. I like that he has sustain. A lot of new classes always struggle with sustain. I don't know why devs can't give classes when there are new good sustainabilities, but this one he actually has a good sustainability. So this is the LTB input for it. It looks like that. Like you can cancel it at any time with your iframe, but you can see the animation is actually really long. It's in front of you, so that's a good thing, but you can grab out of it and you can get blown up if you use it. The flow is a frontal guard, and after you use the skill and you hold B, it will do a frontal guard skill for more damage. Looks really cool in my opinion, but frontal guarded, long animation. Again, have to see how it works. In my opinion, those two skills together are too long. If you, since you only can activate the flow after the full animation of Lightning Prison, I think in group fights this is probably a death sentence. Every assassin who will see you and doing that, they will just jump you or grab you or do stuff like that. In a 1v1, especially in a 1v1 with against the fast grab class, or even against the Guardia or stuff like that with slower grabs, they can definitely easily grab you out of that. So, I already saw the damage of this skill as well. It's good, but it's not like people will die instantly when you cast it. Of course, when you outgear people, then they will die, but people will always die when you outgear them. Next skill is actually my favorite skill from the whole kit, because I think this is actually a skill we never ever had in any class, and this is called Impaling Flash. What it does, it has 8% accuracy rate, 50% crit rate, decent amount of hits, super armor while using this skill, in iframe when vanished. So, it teleports you to the enemy and bounces between enemies up to 5 times. So when you have more enemies around, it will bounce more often. It looks like that. Obviously we just have 2 enemies here at the moment. So if you had 2 more enemies, it will bounce more. Also you can see the enemy who's when you activate the skill, you have this little things over the head from the enemies. With this thing you know, okay, those are the enemies, those where I will bounce to. Because you will come out on the last enemy, so this is good for positioning, and then you could predict a bit, okay, this enemy has a little thing over their head, so I will come out now on this position. This is really cool in my opinion that you can see that, otherwise it would be a bit messy to see, okay, where's the enemy hitting last and where I come out now. So where I will stand after this skill. But this is actually cool. It will do more damage when you hit more targets. And also for repositioning, imagine you 5 people chasing you in PvP, and you can activate the skill. Maybe you can, when you turn your camera, you can choose where you will come out. You can reposition yourself. The enemy don't know where you are right now for a second, and then you can do stuff again. I think it's really cool skill. Or when you have 3 people on the ground, they're low, you can quickly go and bounce between them and kill them. Really cool skill. My absolutely favorite skill in the whole kit. We have to see how it will work in the end, how the damage is and stuff, of course. But I like this skill the most. It's really cool. Next skill we have Radiant Annulation, this is actually the B skill. It will just summon your little satellite or your arc cannon, and it will deal damage separately from you. So it just fires in a direct line, and you also can see I can do different stuff while using it. This was a skill I did just do, so you can... it's probably good for combos. You can just throw it out in between your combos somewhere, and then it will deal extra damage while you use some other skills directly after it. Really cool skill in my opinion. Unsafe though, so group fights, have to see. Next skill is Arthur's Spear. It's a knockdown. This is probably your skill. This, you want to use that one for re-CCing. All evasion rate minus, so evasion debuff, 5% accuracy rate, 50% crit rate, decent damage, knockdown, down attack. Looks like that. It's nothing crazy, but this is probably your re-CC. When you grab someone, you do stuff, and then you re-CC with that skill. Maybe you can fit, I don't know, I haven't tested any combos yet. Maybe you can grab someone, go with upsurge, so you get the knockdown resistance debuff, and then you can go with Arthur's Spear for the knockdown. And in my opinion, this skill is also will definitely become super armor for core skill. I think that would be a really cool core skill, because the range on it is actually good. Like, as you can see, the range is good. This as a core skill, low cooldown. Even if it would get a frontal guard, I think this would be one of my favorites for a core skill, especially in group fights, because an AoE knockdown that aims in front of you is actually cool, in my opinion. It's a cool skill. I like it. Also because of the evasion debuff, of course. The next skill is Chain Lightning. This skill is probably, I heard already, it's crazy good pulling skill. My opinion is purely focused around PvE. It has decent damage, 2% accuracy rate. MP recovery, also MP recovery is mostly PvE. DP shreds, good for PvP as well, of course, but PvE. Pain damage, also good. Pain damage is actually good, because in general dots for mobs are good, because I'll explain this quickly. When you hit 10 targets, like 10 mobs in PvE, and you have the max amount of mobs that are around you, and there's someone, like some mob, like further away that you couldn't pull because you already had 10 mobs, and you debuff him with pain damage, and you kill one of those mobs that are close to you, those mobs with the pain damage that are still like away because you couldn't pull them, they will come to you then because they have still your dot on it. And that's a really cool thing in my opinion, that you have this skill actually. So wait a second, it looks like that. It will, of course, when you have a mob group, you can it will chain through everything, kind of like 10 targets. It's a really cool pull skill in my opinion. It will probably pull all groups directly. Yeah. The next thing is Shock Relay. It's short cooldown, frontal guard, air attack, down attack, crit rate buff, 10%, 20% 10 seconds, 100% crit rate, okay-ish damage, 4% accuracy rate. You can throw it after everything nearly. It just looks like that. You can really throw it after everything. Like that, or you can, I don't know, you can do that. Like, you can just do it after everything. It's probably just for damage. You also can do it after your iframe if you want, or yeah, I don't know. And for combos, I would maybe, I don't know, like when you grab some, I actually didn't, yeah. I don't know, something that, I don't know, maybe like something like that. I really haven't practiced anything yet, but I already saw a few sages in Awakening who are already, were decent and did a lot of combos and stuff, and it really looks cool when you chain all the skills together with the flow skills, movement stuff. So, we are finished with the skills now, and I will give you my short opinion on the kit so far. First off, I think he has a lot, like the kit idea, in my opinion, is very, very similar to Assassin. Very similar to Hashashin. And I don't mean like Hashashin because of the skills. I know this is a caster, he has different skills, but I mean the kit idea. Because he has no safe CCs in Awakening, he has no safe CCs outside Automagia in Pre-Awakening. The thing is, without the succession Rift Chain that gives you 1 second super armor after the Rift Chain, you can't use all your pre-awakened stuff protected. That means that all your pre-awakened skills are unsafe. You don't have any safe CCs here. You only have safe skills or CCs. And you have stuff like that, where you have frontal guard while casting, but unsafe on hit. So when you use it, while you in this animation, in the wind-up, frontal guard, unsafe. So you technically don't have any safe CCs for his pre-awakening outside of Automagia, of course, but Automagia's 40-second cooldown. It's also a long animation, it's predictable, it's definitely usable, but it's nothing fast reliable. He will get a core skill in Awakening, so you will have one safe CC. And this is also why I think it's kind of the same kit idea as Hashashin. Hashashin is kind of the same. No really safe CCs in pre-awakening outside Mirage and Quicksand. Quicksand only on last hit, but for those who don't know who Hashashin is, it's basically a long animation skill where you have a CC on the last hit, but it's really unreliable because the animation is crazy long. And Mirage is a crazy good skill, but it's hard to use and you need to practice first, but yeah, it's one safe CC that can Hush, that Hush actually has. The thing is, they both have a range grab, and they both have a lot of unsafe movement stuff, and with safe movement stuff in between. So, I don't think Sage is like Hush, but it reminds me a bit of the kit idea. So, in my opinion, Awakening is definitely not as OP in group fights as Suck is. Definitely not. For the simple reason that Succession, you have so much iframe time. You're invincible while you're in iframe. You can come out with SA 1 second after your iframe. So basically you can make all your CCs protected. You have way more damage, like also because of your E-buff, because of the passives and stuff. And I already saw the damage on Awakening on geared players. It's not bad. It's like the combo damage actually is high. Also the damage itself is not bad, but it's not like boom, kill, boom, kill, boom, kill. It's not like that. So this class in Awakening is definitely harder. Way harder to play. You need to learn it. There are a lot of cancels. You need to work with your pre-awakened movement and with your awakened stuff. I can show you a simple example what I found out so far. You can just do that, like from Awakening, then you can go on your pre-awakening, and then you can go on Awakening again if you want to do that. Yeah, that was really bad. But if you're in like let's say Awakening, you can go on to pre-awakening, then you can go on to iframe, then you can go on to Awakening again and bounce around targets, something like that. Yeah, I have to actually see how it works. Also, a lot of his movement is actually like you need to hit stuff, like that, for example. This is unsafe. Also, Impaling Flash. You need to hit stuff to move. If you just throw out this movement skill, nothing happens. If you throw an Impaling Flash, nothing happens. So you definitely need to have targets to move. You have a lot of unsafe movement stuff. What makes the class hard to play, especially makes it vulnerable to random CCs. Random CCs, best example, archers for example, or even sages these days. Just something that you can't really like predict. And yeah, So it's probably the really good 1v1er class, just because of the range grab. You have an iframe where you can dodge stuff. You have still the long animation, the long range iframe from P-Awakening. I think this Awakening will be a good duelist, but a worse group fighter, because to be honest, the Succession kit is just so busted in group fights. With the whole kit idea is just so busted. Yeah, that this class can't really keep up with that. Especially, you have so many long essays where you can get slowed, you get debuffs, you can get just blown up, you can get grabbed. Like, maybe desync happens and you get CC'd out of your essays. Like, we all know that. And with Awakening Sage, try to catch them. You know what I mean? It's like Succession Kit will definitely this will be the brain dead group fighter, and the Awaken Kit is definitely the more skillful kit. You need to invest time in it. You need to position yourself well. You need to predict yourself, okay, my enemy is here, or I will come out here when I use Impaling Flash, stuff like that. You will probably need to go like Succession combos, what's that, like 3 skills? Okay. Or 4 skills, maybe a bit more, but you get what I mean. With Awakening, you definitely will have longer combos. So, Awakened Kit, probably the better 1v1 class, harder to play. Probably the worst a bit worse in group fights. And for people who are already will flame now, no, Zach, but you did it bad in group fight, that's really strong. I don't say it's bad, I just say it's not as good as Succession is. So, for group fights, it will be probably strong. There will be players who will be geared, who will be really good with it, who will be probably have crazy results in group fights. But I think the average player who wants to just get results, or just like to brain deadly kill people because they can't play classes really well, or they don't have the time to invest in classes to just learn them really well, they will stick with Succession. And people who actually want to play as Awakening will play this Awakening. I think many people will try it out just because it's so cool. It looks dope as fuck. Like, it looks so cool. Like, all the skills, they look so crazy good. But I think most people will stick to Suck still. And yes, I know they will probably buff it, like maybe damage wise, maybe 100% they will give him all quality of life stuff, like animation cancels, speed ups, or like switches to pre-awakening, or from pre-awakening to awakening. Like most kids will get buffed. It was the same for all new classes. You will see probably some buffs for him. Maybe not just damage, but probably just quality of life stuff. So if you're interested in Awakening Sage, PC will have this class now for 1 week until we get it on console. So you actually have some time to see what people do. Is go to Twitch, check out those players. I also will play a bit, but I don't have really gear. So yeah, I want to play it on my console account, not on my PC account actually. Even though I'm with my controller here, and everything looks like console. This is actually the console overlay for PC. They added this a while ago, so it looks exactly like console. So to summarize all again, I think it's a really cool class. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the A skill I talked about earlier. You can use it like after all skills basically. And yeah, by the way, stamina usage is still super high. Like, my stamina is not really high now, but it's really high. Like, you definitely use stamina in Awakening as well a lot. We have to see how it will work, but I think it's a cool class. It will be probably really good group fights. We have to see how it will be in group fights. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed my first preview of the class. And for those who are here from PC, I get a lot of messages that you don't agree with my opinions. And yes, that can definitely be true because I am from console. I think I see things completely different than PC player do. Also, we are playing a different game over here on console. You have way more players. You have like the average player, like the average PvP player is better on PC most of the time. Um, you have more gear. You have like stuff like yeah, like here potato modes, stuff like that. Like you can actually see people on spot with Gillian. You know what I mean? Like PC is definitely different. If you have another opinion on that class, when you're from PC, please feel free to share it. But please keep in mind, I'm from console. I see things in a console way. And yeah, guys. With that being said, if you want to see more from Sage, I will play him. I will maybe even tag him when he comes out. To just see how we will do on console and to give you guys some content. And with that being said, guys, thanks for watching and have a good one. See you next time.